Welcome to another episode, Middle Ground with JLE L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That is the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience. We got another great guest for you today. We have the Kick Conflict to the Curb, conflict resolution coach, and CEO of Joyce Weiss Training and Development LLC, Joyce Weiss. Welcome to the show.
Thrilled to be here. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, which makes it really fun.
Okay. Oh, tell people a little about yourself before I ask you a few questions.
Oh, God, you don't do that to a coach and former motivational speaker. You got 18 hours, listeners. So my name is Joyce Weiss, and I am a communication coach known as the Queen of Conflict Resolution. And HR are human resource people. They are professionals. Many times they're my partners. And I work with their direct reports so they feel heard, whether they're emerging leaders that need to work in their career, whether there are managers who are in the middle of growing their career, but maybe they need to tone it down a little bit. So anything communication and conflict resolution, that's my game. That's my lane, Jeffrey.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay. First question. What led you to this path?
Oh, here we go again, 14 hours. Years ago, when I got married, I got married to a lawyer. And at the beginning of the marriage, it was like speaking to a judge. And I never took debate classes when I went to high school or college. And whenever I brought something up, and I wasn't brought up to be pulverized, by this judge. So the good news is I decided, because I was so young when we got married, it was like 1742. So when I took lots of classes and I knew something had to change, and all these back then, assertive training was really in, and I decided I wanted to be a counselor. I was tired of being a school teacher at that time. Not tired of it, but I wanted something else. I wanted to be with adults. So I knew I needed to have this tough conversation with Jerry. And I was prepared because there was going to be that debate and he was going to win it wrong. So I said to him something like, I feel frustrated when some of my ideas are discounted because I have my own voice and it's time I use it. Well, he was caught off guard. Like, who are you? Uh-oh. And ever since and that's when he said, oh, yeah, you want to go back to school? Go for it. That's when I knew, if I was as strong as I was back then, so I thought, and how many other people don't have the skills to speak their voice, to be heard. And that was the beginning of my journey, Jeffrey. Okay. And as a result, there's so many stories like that, which we'll get into. Bullies who have been in my life that I had to figure out, with all the stuff I know about communication, what about the people that don't? How do they deal with bullies or tough people in their life? So that's truly my story. So when people ask me, I usually don't, why I got into this. I don't usually have this much time. So I say I married a lawyer and they all start laughing.
Yeah, because law just says you want to debate.
And I'm still married to the guy.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had wanted to be a lawyer at first.
So what stopped you?
I didn't like the idea I need to pass the bar exam. Like, wait a minute, I'm doing almost 18 years of school. Then I got to do another test? This is some bull crap. Shouldn't be all, no, I'm good. I can ask somebody and they can't say nothing? That sounds pretty cool. Okay. Next question. What is kick conflict to the curb?
Okay, well, it's half the sign, but you could see it. Kick conflict to the curb
Mhm.
is really what I'm known for now. It's an online course. I used to teach it face to face,
Oh wow.
but that sort of changed in 2019. So for the last couple of years, I've had to figure out how to do this on an online course.
Hmm.
So I, like many people, like many coaches, took tons of classes, tons of coaching on how to create online courses. So I've launched this class at least 4 times, and
Hmm.
it's an online class that people attend, and it's 6 weeks live on Zoom, and they get all kinds of bonuses and templates. And what it is, it's how to transform themselves from either not feeling heard
Hmm.
or respected all the way to feeling feeling heard, feeling confident
Okay.
during tough conversations without losing their cool. So these 6 weeks we implement. It's just not me talking about stories and case scenarios
Hmm.
and the content. Of course, that's part of it. The real magic, anybody that's watching or listening, it's with the participants, and we help each other and figure out. Okay, you had this conversation. It went well. Yay! Let's celebrate. It didn't. Let's go backwards. Figure out what to do. So it's a great course. Um, and all people have to do is, of course, I will have to look. If they send me an email, I can send them the link to it because I don't have it with me now.
Well, I got to go across the screen your website,
Yes,
joyce.com.
yes. Well, if they go to Joyce at joyceweiss.com, that's my email, Joyce at joyceweiss.com, and say, hey, would you just send me the link to the sales page? Boom. And then they could even get on the phone with me if they want for a 20-minute
Okay.
discovery course, of course, call just to see if they're right for it. It's not going to be a hard sales. Jeffrey, that's why I was looking forward to this. This is not a hardcore, um, real strict rules here. You're going to be asking me questions. I don't know what they are. And it's this good same thing on that phone call. Call me, I'll tell you what it's about. You give me whatever red flags. Maybe it's not right for you. If it is, I'll let you know how you can enroll. Is
Yeah,
that
this.
fair?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, this show is a cool conversation about the guests with a few
Yeah.
questions,
Awesome.
and that's taking that class. I think would be invaluable because a lot of people don't know how to deal with conflict
Oh,
without getting emotionally stirred up, ready to fight or yell. They can't just say, "I don't like what you're doing. You need to stop."
yes.
They ready to throw something at you and say that. Like, it ain't take all that.
Most people, and I'm so glad you said that. Most people, we didn't take conflict resolution or communication courses in school. Conflict, and it depends on the culture, it depends on your family structure. I
Hmm.
find that most people say to me, how do you deal with conflict? How come you this is your specialty? I said that's because I didn't know how to deal with it. So as
Hmm.
a result of my journey, I'm here to welcome the same thing, no judgment. Most of us just don't know how, or we do a lousy job. And then there's more conflict, right? You
Yeah.
create, or sometimes, and man, this is a big one. Oh, Jeffrey, I'm just learning this one.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's better not to say anything. I don't mean to give a cold shoulder. That's being high school. But sometimes it's okay just to back up and decide not to say, or to say, we're both pretty heated. Let's both calm down.
Hmm.
No judgment. And let's talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah, I was one coming up. It seemed too scary to have that emotional confrontation when I was dating or whatever, or a friend. So I might write it down in word how I feel. Like I want to punch them in the face. They hurt my feelings, blah blah. But I never say it. And I had one female friend I dated that I'm gonna stand in front of you figuratively until you speak to me. You're gonna say what's going on. We're gonna deal with the problem and work it out. You're gonna see it's not that
Mhm.
scary to go through it. And I'm like, wow, it's not.
That's awesome. And it worked.
Yeah, because now I'm like, we need to talk. Come here, please.
Yep.
Before I'll be that one. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. Just let it slide. But they did. No, I ain't gonna say nothing, and that's not the best way. It gotta get dealt with.
No, if you want, the word is results. If you want different results, you have to do something different. So people say to me, I don't really need your course, or I don't need your coaching. And I say, well, maybe you don't. Everyone doesn't. How dare me think that the whole world does? I really don't. But if you're getting the same results, whether it's dating, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your boss, and you want to just change what we're not talking about. It's not, I'm not a psychiatrist. I have a master's in guidance in counseling. I believe in only a few coaching sessions. It doesn't take long. Learn the skills in the Weiss Communication Success Plan, which I have 5 strategies in that plan. Then you're off. So it's not a big deal. You learn a few strategies, you implement them, and then you say, Joyce, that was easy, but I needed to make a change. So that's the biggie.
Okay. So how do you become a conflict resolution and communication coach?
You have to have a lot of experience, and I'm serious, in your own life. For me, I do have a master's in guidance and counseling, like I said. And I did start studying a lot about bullies, I'd say 5 years ago, when I was doing the in-person training at that time.
Okay.
And it seemed like there were more people, questions at the end, all the PowerPoints finished, and all the motivational stories are done. Now comes the real fun. What's in it for the audience? Almost, like I said, about 5 years ago, almost every question was, how do I deal with this? She's really a bully at work, or a friend. And that's when I started doing a lot of research on bullying in the workplace. Read every book possible, went on but on YouTube. And then I started thinking about myself. And Jeffy, this is where it blew my mind. So you asked me, how do you become a conflict resolution coach? I discovered, as I was doing this research, I was being bullied. And I didn't even realize that. I just said, I get defensive when certain people keep on saying to me, why are you still working? Or why do you work so hard? Or, why do you work late at night watching all these videos? And I used to get defensive and say, whatever it is that we do when we feel defensive. Hey, because I'd like to, because I don't want to get Alzheimer's, and I want my brain to work still. So I want to work until the phone stops ringing. But then it dawned on me, no, that's not how you answer. You have to stop these conversations. Yeah. So I came up and I started doing this. So if any of my friends are watching this, they're going to say, oh, she's talking about me. Well, maybe I am, but it's not a bad thing. I just know how to control you. So what I started doing is saying some things like, I'm curious what interests you so much about my life. Then I shut up and they like, what? I didn't defend myself. I am non-judgmental. I didn't push. I'm curious is the words that got them. They're gone. I mean, they're still my friends. They don't ask me questions like that because bullies love teasing their targets. They love picking on them. Well, I'm not an easy target anymore. And when anyone pushes me, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I will push back, which is a no-no. But when they push me, I will step back and ask the question, I'm curious, or whatever other technique and strategy I pull out. But those 2 words will help you start thinking, okay, I don't have to take this. And then it puts it on them. Is this making sense?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I just want because you're listening so intently. I want to make sure you're with me. Yeah.
No, I'm right here with you. I was
Okay.
thinking about a friend at work years ago. We would crack jokes on each other about stuff, and I guess one week I would make comments, and they said, that hurt my feeling. You said that. I'm like, I thought we was. Oh, my bad. I'm not trying to be no bully or nothing like that. I ain't gonna crack a joke no more. You say we good joking on that more because that ain't what I want to put out there with nobody.
Yes.
I dealt with bullies as a kid, and I used a typewriter, and then we became friends. I found odd. People are weird.
So wait a minute. So with your friend who said my feelings were hurt, so you were able to turn that around by saying that was not my intention. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, and I apologize because I thought we were still just joking, talking smack. I'm like, hey, we ain't doing that. I ain't doing that no more. I respect you.
And that is again a huge key. There's so many people that are now saying, I can't say anything to anybody. I'm going to insult them. Well, if you find that someone feels inadequate or insulted, instead of saying, you're too serious or you're too sensitive, say, you're right. And that still hurt my feelings. And as we move on, I respect myself and I would like you to do the same or something like that. When we agree with the person, hey, you're too sensitive, Jeffrey. No, I don't mean it. I'm just
I understand.
You're too sensitive. Instead of you saying, oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed. And I'd appreciate if you respected me as much as I respect me or something like that. But that's different. You're getting a different response instead of like we always say, you managers are all alike. No, we're not. Well, that's not going to have a good conversation. No. I'm curious. What do you mean by that? Then out it comes, and it's a nice conversation, and it's not that. Blah, 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 blah.
And I mean, my opinion is they your people, so you really got love for them. You do pay attention to them to get a gauge of, what might offend them, hurt them, or whatever. So if you're trying to always prop them up, not, well, yeah, I know they a little overweight and they conscious about it. You need to put that burger down. Why would you say that? You already know that about you. Hang around Martin, you know these things about them where, hey, why don't we work out tomorrow if you got time? Something like that to be encouraged. Instead of, you can put that down. You doing too much.
Yes.
There's no need for that. And I know I can't say nothing like, well, maybe you're saying stuff you shouldn't be saying. Because that's
you're a kind person. What do we do with the people who aren't? Whether I'm kind or not isn't the issue, but I already can tell because viewers and listeners, I've had a few conversations with our host, and trust me, not he, you're right here. You're very kind. You're sensitive to other people. Therefore, you make a great communicator. There are too many people that maybe they are kind, but they seem so abrasive and tough and strong and they're afraid to just say, oh, let me back up. I didn't mean to hurt you. That's all it takes.
Yeah. That's all it takes. From afar, I guess some people's conditioning of how they were taught, and you got to be adaptable at all times.
Thank you.
You may have been taught the 80s way, say, a business. Thankfully, you got a job, do as you told. It's 2020. You ain't got to say it like that. And I can say, I appreciate the effort you bring every day.
Yes.
And they might, they do appreciate my work, and they might become a better employee for you.
Yes. That's all it takes.
You play chess. It ain't hard. See what's going on.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what led you to start Joyce Weiss Training and Development LLC?
Well, let's go backwards probably 35 years ago. When I started, I was doing resumes in my home with school teachers because at that time, there were a lot of pink slips going on with school teachers. So all of a sudden my banker said, Joyce, you're putting money in the bank. I mean, it wasn't very much back then, what did we charge? But it was money. And I told the banker what I did, and she said, would you speak to our Female Bankers Association? I said, sure. I didn't know anything about speaking, Jeffrey. So I had these. I had a whole pack of these.
Old school. Okay.
Oh, so I didn't know. There was no teleprompter. And of course they fell on the podium. They all fell.
I remember that.
So, and they weren't
Old
numbered. So that's when I learned that I had this gift that I could engage a group. I knew as a school teacher in Detroit, I loved your opening. Love that song.
What up, Del?
I was at Winship Junior High School in Detroit.
Awesome.
And I loved engaging the middle school / junior high. And those are tough ages, but I loved getting them engaged and figuring out how, at that time I was super young. I was just out of college too. So I always had that gift of listening and engagement. So then I turned to this group. Obviously, I reached them because then they started hiring me. And then I said, oh my God, what do I charge? What do I do? Then someone said, have you heard of the National Speakers Association in Phoenix, Arizona? I said, no. I joined. Everything that I learned about business was from that group. And as a result of that, that's when I started. I was a keynote speaker for years on the airplane, going from place to place to place. And I just have to say it. I'm not leaving. I'm getting something. I became a certified speaking professional. Nice. There are only 200 women in the world who have the certified speaking professional. It's an earned award. And that's how Joyce Weiss Training and Development was developed. Then over the years, and especially with COVID, there went all the motivational keynotes down the drain because no one was meeting face to face.
Yeah.
And I was ready for a change, but I didn't know. So COVID, in a way, gave me a gift. I mean, yes, we were all, in our little corners with our masks, even at home. But that's when it dawned on me, you know what? I think I'm tired. And so that's why this new approach that where I'm coaching and I'm on LinkedIn all the time, just meeting new human resource people and who are eventually thinking of using me as their coach or signing up to send their direct reports to kick conflict to the curb. So it's like many of our careers, we're here. Then all of a sudden there's some setback like COVID. And then instead of quitting, I'm sure so many people that just aren't in business anymore, the small businesses.
A lot of them, unfortunately.
I couldn't do that. I mean, I still have the fire, all this passion when my when my veins pop out, that's real. I can't hide it. I have the passion, the desire to help people one group at a time, one person at a time. And like I said before, when the phone stops, I'm done. It's not. It's still ringing. The emails are still coming in, and I'm still learning so much about coaching and conflict. And that keeps us young. That keeps us curious. I don't care how old anyone is who's watching this interview. It's that professional growth that keeps us curious to get to the next. So now when people say to me, why am I still working? And I always say, oh, I'm curious. What makes you so interested? Blah, 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 blah. Internally, I say, wow, they're dead in their eyes. They have that flat line. What's new? Well, the same old, same old. I won't say that to you. I mean, I'm working with a coach in Malaysia who's helping my videos get
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Insane. So it's fun. So I don't care. I mean, what I'm going to throw it back at you. How
Sure.
do you stay curious with you? Because obviously you're on a podcast. So how do you stay curious and stay current? You didn't know I was going to do that to you, did you?
Well, some guests tend to throw one at me. It's so cool. I'm adaptable. Gotta be. Given I'm a creative musician, I'm always trying to take in the world, what's going on in it, so it gives me ideas for songs.
Awesome.
So I know a little bit about a lot.
Yes. Now, how can I find out about your songs?
The name of the album is the JLE Experience. It's in every digital store, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes,
Okay.
everywhere digital.
You know what? Where I'm, you don't know this, but already I'm thinking you're going to be a guest on my vlog. So that's sure I'm interested, but all of a sudden it dawned on me, you got it out to offer to my viewers too. So thank you, Mr. Curious. That's a magician. I mean, musician. Maybe we should be magicians, but yeah, musicians. That says something about you, sir.
Yeah, and I've done the first proofread of my second book. I gotta do the second before I put it out.
Awesome.
So I'll try to stay busy like you.
Yep. You don't have to try. Matter of fact, I don't know if you were going to ask me, but I'm just going to tell you.
Okay.
I wrote this baby in 19 it was like 1990 something. And 2002. Thanks for knowing when you wrote the book, Joyce. So, and even though this was written in
Take the Ride of Your Life.
2002, Take the Ride of Your Life is just an experience of my life and people who learned how to ride their bike. I interviewed homeless people. I interviewed all kinds of people in my life, strangers who said to me, you got to interview so-and-so because they're just great. And who taught you how to ride your bike? What were your lessons? So it's to this day. Matter of fact, Jeanette Gadati, you know Jeanette. She's the one that introduced us. And I just put this back on a product that she and I are selling together for people to just take a look and order. And it's so much fun because it's not, how is that outdated? Bike riding is so in, whether it's your Zoom bike or how do you like that for professional or your 10-speed.
I was a late bloomer when I learned to ride my bike, so I was terrorizing everybody gate because I didn't know how to stop. Everybody's like, you're going to learn, Jeff. You ain't tear the gate up. You're going to figure it out.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
And you did. And that's the point of Take the Ride of Your Life. So how did that experience impact you as an adult?
I guess I would have to say you're late to do anything. And you might be scared to try it. You might fall, but keep at it. You'll figure it out. Then I was riding in the street and I was everywhere.
And that's who you are. You're always trying something new. And there's one of the stories. Her name is Nancy. And sometimes people change their names because they didn't want their relatives to know they were talking about their parents. But Nancy, who said her bike story was her father said, you go get your own bike. He had money. That wasn't the issue. You go teach yourself. I'm too busy. Get out of my way. Wow. So as a result of that experience, no doubt that she had so many issues with her partners because she never trusted men. She always felt that they were going to do this to her. And she finally broke free. But that one incident, and I don't mean to make them serious, because some of the bike stories are so much fun. They just got on the bike by themselves and they went and they fell and they didn't care. And they're so independent today. Same thing. They'll do something new, they'll fall, they don't care, they get up. Then there's me. My bike story, very quickly, is the reason why I wrote it was in memory of my dad. He spent so long training this klutz, and he never gave up. I fell and then I fell and then he fell. And the message is mine today. Just get back on that bike and ride. And we'll take that from Queen. Get on, get back up and ride. Get back up on your bike and ride. You can do it. Don't look back. You can do it. So as I learn new stuff about social media, that is just too much for my brain. That's what I tell myself. You can do it. Yeah. I fell down a lot when I was learning how to ride that bike. I make more mistakes than maybe I should, Jeffrey, but I know that as I keep on riding and pursuing, I'm going to get it. And I do. Yeah. I get everything. And if it's too much, folks, then that's when we have to be honest with ourselves and say, it's not fun doing this. Or it's just not me. It's okay to say, on to the next.
Yeah, I ain't one with the motorcycles. I need some more. Give me the 3-wheel spider or something. I do that one. That's just. Yep. I want to fly off that one and have a cartoon moment. No. That ain't gonna be pretty.
No. We can't have that.
Okay. How did you become official curator at World Business and Executive Coach Summit Community?
Wow. No one has ever asked me that one before.
Really?
Where'd you dig that one? So
it's on your LinkedIn.
Well, funny that you mentioned LinkedIn. These videos, and I need to go back 10 years ago. This was me on video, and I am going to get to that answer. I swear to God, I'm not posting, but there is some history.
Go ahead. It's about you.
Okay. Well, this was me on video, let's say 10 years ago. Hi, my name is Joyce Weiss, and today I'm going to talk about. And I read notes, and my eyes were not. Well, I should do it not on the camera. I sucked. I mean, it's a horrible word. I hope I don't, insult anybody.
Oh no!
Until a friend of mine, only 3 years ago, said, "Joyce, you're vivacious. You're spontaneous. You're fun. You get up in front of a camera and you freeze." And I said, "You're right. What do I do?" That night, and I will not mention which one, we had a local politician was on the TV, and I saw her. And during the press conference, she was horrible, frozen, just like me. The minute the questions came in, she was relaxed. She smiled, and she was great. And I said, that's me. That's when I started getting coaching on how to be better. Now, you asked a question, I'm going to go back and answer. They found me, the World of Business and Executive Coaching Summit found me on LinkedIn, and they said, would you be willing to write for a space in our, and there are thousands of coaches that belong to that summit. Awesome. It's such an amazing group. I mean, every week until April, you have to pay to belong, but we learn from the best coaches in the world. So here I am, Coach Joyce Weiss, Queen of Conflict Resolution from West Bloomfield, Michigan, is now a social curator, which means I write once a week in the conflict resolution space, and I get coaches from all over the world. That's you. It's not me, right?
Yeah, that was me.
Actually, I left mine upstairs. It's a good thing I did. So now I get to write with other coaches, and it is one of the biggest honors in my life.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that just came from them finding me by these videos. So for those of you, I'm going to come up close, who really are horrible on videos, if I can do it, you can do it. And send me an email on that one too. And I could give you a couple quick, or I could do it now too if you want, quick examples on how to have stage presence.
Yeah. I've been figuring out on my own, getting it out the mud, because first time I did, I was terrified.
I'm going like this because misery loves company. I'm sorry. I'm not, you now know that's not nice.
I'm like, well, get your prayer on first. Make sure you got the right mindset, energy, everything. All right. We got to figure it out because people keep asking, how can people watch it? Like, okay, we got to do it.
So what was your breakthrough? What was your breakthrough? From being petrified to now, look at you.
I'm very task oriented. So I see the company is growing. People want to be able to be in a chat box talking about it or looking at their people. So I learned about StreamYard, and you got to get to the other side of the road, hook or crook. So you don't matter. I'm scared. Shut up. Get it right. You got to get there. You got to get it right because you got to keep moving the company forward.
And look at you now. And StreamYard is my choice too. When I interview you, it's also going to be on StreamYard.
Okay.
And most people say, what is that? The thing is, though, you already told me, and now we're being recorded. So that means this is not just a shake a hand. And yes, I do trust you, Jeffrey.
Oh, yes.
But you did say to me, because I said, I haven't done live yet. People have done me live as a guest. But when I do my interviews, I go to StreamYard, which for those of you who don't know, it's really like Zoom, just with fancy, look at with the fancy ticker tape. And you already said you would help me with that. So our interview is going to be, you're going to be my first live.
Yeah. My word is my bond. I say it's going to happen.
And I knew it would, but that's sort of.
Yeah, I know. You ain't right. I got him on camera saying this, so he can't weasel out. I'll see what you're doing. You ain't right.
Plus, remember, I'm married to a lawyer, so.
Yeah, it's rough off. It's rough off. Verbal contract. I see you.
You got it.
Now, you're a fellow Wayne State University alum. Where you from? Shout out. How did Wayne help you on your journey?
Oh, first of all, I mean, let's get personal here. That's where I met the lawyer. That number one, personally, I met him, Jerry, and we both met. We both said, we don't want to get married. He wanted to go to Vegas and in the summer and be a lifeguard. I wanted to travel the world when I went to work. And then a year later, we were married. So that's on the personal side. But oh my, I was a Spanish major, and I had just a wonderful experience. Met some really great people that who I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
And even years later, I went back before I became a counselor, when I went to Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan. I went back to Wayne to take nutrition courses because I've always loved nutrition. And that's when I said, I love it, but I think I got to look for something else. It was just, I didn't say, because I have to enjoy. I have to have a challenge, and I have to have fun with whatever I'm doing. My friends, it's the same way. They got to challenge me, and we also have to laugh. Boy, you see, I don't have many friends. I've got so many boundaries. And Wayne State, what has been there? I mean, I got my bachelor's in teaching. As a result of that, I went to Winship Junior High School. That was my first big job besides the teenage stuff. And I love Wayne State. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful campus. And you went there too. You went there too?
Yeah, class of 2020. They paid for it.
And what is your degree in?
Management.
There you go.
Shout out to my JLE School of Business. They give a lot of game. They definitely will teach you how the business world works.
Oh, it's a great school.
Mm-hmm.
Good school.
And their new arena for basketball is nice too. They partner with the Pistons.
Oh, good. Okay. Love it.
All right. Last question. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Take a deep breath. I'm serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't concentrate on what people are telling you your purpose is. That maybe, but it probably isn't. Whether it's parents, whether it's a spouse or a partner, go back to your teenage years, to high school. What did you love doing? And many times that's the answer. Many times, oh, gee, I was a good listener. I was a cheerleader. Well, how can you make money doing it? That's where coaching comes in. So or I loved reading. So one of my clients, she just didn't know what to do. She was a school teacher. Mm-hmm. She was getting really tired of it. This is since COVID. Okay. And things have changed. And she said, I got to get out of teaching. So it ends up, the question was, what did you love doing as a teenager? Loved reading. She's now a librarian. She went back to school. Didn't have to take many courses because she was already, she already had her degree in teaching. So your purpose is find out what you love doing in the past. Talk to someone who knows you. And even say to them, how do you see me? I don't mean your parent, because they're still going to get their opinions, what they think you should do, unless you have the kind of parents that, are really open. And yeah, I think that's a good beginning. And the other thing is find yourself a coach. And I'm not saying it has to be me. A coach for a couple sessions. There's so many good career coaches who can even give you assessments. That's how I learned about counseling. Because when I took an assessment and it all said, at that time, counseling, now, of course, I've switched to be a coach. But yeah, there's assessments and I can help people. Or I can send them to someone else if they would, rather talk to someone else, or look on LinkedIn for career development coaches. So that's a great start. But mainly try on your own. What did you love to do? I mean, what did you love to do as a kid? That's true to who you are today.
Oh yeah, I knew that was coming. I was thinking about it.
Oh, come on. Am I that transparent? Where did you? Oh. I'm hitting you, or I'm giving you a fist, okay?
What's love? If I wasn't talking trash with my friends or trying to speak to a female in school, I'd be writing a song or writing something.
There you go. And look at you now.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
I definitely didn't see doing this, trying to help people find a purpose with a podcast. I definitely didn't see that one.
But
and
it's
the
here.
response I've gotten to it because your episode 106.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. March 26th will be the anniversary of my relaunch from last year.
Congratulations. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
This is a great podcast, and I can't wait to watch it because you're great at what you're doing and helping people. And oh my gosh, sometimes I'm a guest and I don't drink except on the weekends. And sometimes I feel like I need one because I have to send in the questions. And then I have to make sure that I don't say ABC and I can't mention my website. And I can't, and there's so many restrictions. It's not the night freeze. Because when people are putting so many boundaries and you said nothing, you just said, just show up.
Yeah, because
Just show up.
when God put it on me to make this the focal point of to come across amazing people making strides in their careers to inspire others to find their purpose or try
Yes.
again. It's however long it need to be, 30 minutes or more, all
Yep.
about the guests. Whatever they need to say, talk about. I'm always go through their website or LinkedIn and ask questions about what they done.
I love it.
There's no prizes, nothing to where were you at 5 in the morning type, ain't none of that. It's all about
Oh,
celebrating and marketing anything
absolutely.
else. Because the mission
Well,
has to be, did we make them feel like family? Well,
yes.
we'll treat you like family. It's the tagline. But did we
I know. And I put that on all my social media about you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say two things because if people want more, I only have 250 YouTube videos on my channel, so
okay.
please subscribe. We just redid it, and it's youtube.com/Joyce Weiss, and there
Man,
are. I mean, there's playlists on human resource topics, on bullies, on interviews, of which you will be one, with
okay.
thought-provoking leaders, and also my blog, which is at joyceweiss.com, which we have there. It's called Kick Conflict to the Curb, Stomp Out Your Stress. Every single day, 3 o'clock Eastern, you will get a short, I repeat, short, either video or blog about conflict and communication or inspirational posters, and people love it. So those were, and of course, the course. And for a free assessment, if anybody here wants to find out about their communication skills and how to measure the success of their communication, what it has to do with your career or even personal relationships, if you go to kickconflicttothecurb.com, you're not going to forget that one after this interview. Kickconflicttothecurb.com. There is a free assessment, and you also get videos from me that describe how you can even get better. So people love that one. It's free. You get lots of extra resources from taking that.
And when if you notice on LinkedIn, when I post the latest episode, I will put all your websites up there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you see it, once I do it, you have your YouTube, email, joyceweiss.com and kicktothecurb.com on there. So they have all the spots
Thank
to
you.
check you out.
Wow. Well, I will
All right,
return
guys.
the favor. Thank you. It's not just about me because there was somebody on LinkedIn. Can I say something else or are we done?
Go ahead. This you. Go ahead.
Okay. Because this is a lesson for everybody. So I know someone on LinkedIn personally, and I started liking at first her stuff, and then I started commenting like what we're supposed to do for the algorithm. It's not just liking, but it's and not just saying good post. So folks, if you really want to get strong on LinkedIn, wow, I've taken from the best of the best. You make a comment. So I've made at least 10 comments. I'm on every day. I've never gotten a comment or like from her. So in my mind, let's face it, maybe I would just say to myself, hey, just fine. Just continue doing it. Or am I going to start concentrating on those who do like and comment? There's like, it's a give and take. You can't be selfish for social media. It's not all me. Yeah, it's about our posts and it's about it's about being guests on shows like yours, Jeffrey L. Edwards hosts. But when we see people who we believe in, we've got to support them. It's not only people supporting us, and that's telling about people. And please, I'm not Miss Manners, but I just do know how marketing works, and it's a give and take. And I know you know what I'm talking about, sir.
Yeah, I'm learning it.
Yes, I am too.
So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, so much.
What else you want to share?
I'm going to share this when it's on. And I want to thank you so much for inviting me. I didn't know it was going to be. I knew, actually, that's not true. I knew it was going to be fun. I knew it was going to be relaxed. And I knew it was going to be a really good podcast. I'm sorry. I knew. No surprises.
Yeah, I mean, go to my link tree and listen to a show. That's the formula. It's all about the guests.
Yep.
Make them feel comfortable.
And you did it, because this guest isn't always comfortable on shows. So yeah, I'm not, but really was. So I want to thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, we want to thank conflict resolution coach and kick to the curb guru and CEO of Joyce Weiss Training and Development LLC, Joyce Weiss, Queen of Conflict Resolution. I'm gonna add that too, since you mentioned that.
Yep.
That on there. For sharing her journey and giving some advice on your purpose. Appreciate it. Hope y'all learned something and
Thank you.
at least start trying to find your purpose. Till next time, I'll put it up soon, everybody. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks.